Hello everyone, this is Linda and I'm so happy you're here today. I'm doing a small video, a second part to the fiber art video that I just finished. I wanted to show you how to finish out these little fiber art pieces if you are making them yourself or if you're purchasing them from my Etsy shop. It's very simple because it's just a little slow stitch project. You don't have to be an accomplished embroiderer or have fancy stitches. Something very simple will do for this. For instance, this little piece here is in my shop and it's ready for someone to put their stitching on it and finish it off. Now, if you want to know how I make these and how they're designed, then you might want to look at the first video on this project. The how they might look when they're finished, as I have an example here of one. If you remember, these are covered in a fine netting and then thread basted so that all the elements stay in place while you're stitching, and then when you're finished you can take out the threads. And this one is one that I just finished, and let me lay it down here and bring you up to it. This one is completed. I just did some simple embroidery in here. I had put a little fiber here, but I didn't extend it up. And so for my little stitching, I thought, well, I'll just add some green. That'll coordinate with this, and then put some little lazy daisy flowers and a little French knot to go with the little purple butterfly here. Just tie that in together. And then I just did a little straight stitch along this piece of lace I added. Did a little stipple stitching in this brown area, and this straight stitched around the edges. Nothing complicated at all, and just simple stitches anybody can do. I used two threads of embroidery floss to do the stitching on each of the colors. There's the purple, a green, a peach, and a little warm brown here. So there's 4 different colors of floss on there also. Now, I mentioned that these are all thread basted when you buy them out of the shop, and I recommend you do that even if you're making them yourself, because it is a nightmare to have lots of little pieces together and you're trying to do your stitching on it, and they just keep moving or falling off. And so I will go ahead and base them down, and it's very easy to take it out. You can see the basting on the edges here, but when I get through, I turn it over and I cut the little threads on the back. You can see that these have been cut, and you know, be careful you don't cut into your embroidery thread, but you can tell the difference in a sewing thread and an embroidery thread. And I also sew in a variegated brown and orange thread that's pretty easy to see also. So anyway, when I cut those, snip those, then it's easy to turn it back over, find the little threads on the other side, and just pull them out of my finished piece. If any of them get stubborn because I haven't clipped them on the back side, it's easy to find them and turn around and do that. As you can see, they come out easily. The key to that is making sure that when you baste, you take nice long stitches. You can put in as many of those stitches as you want, but you want those stitches to be nice and long. That helps. This one obviously was a shorter one that I did, which is giving me trouble, and I'll have to go back and on the back side and find that one and get it out of there. Let me see. Well, no, it's not stitching, it's a piece of fiber. That's good. Okay, so we'll continue to take these out, and I use a pair of tweezers because that's the easiest thing to do. Looking it over, I'm thinking that I'm just about to clean it up, and I don't really see any more on there. I flip it to the back. I don't see any. Well, there's one right there. Where's he going? He's right there. Oh, he wants to be stubborn. Let's see, where's he hooked on to? Oh, he's probably the one that I have the knot on. Yeah, there he is. Okay. Here's one here that I didn't see from the other side. Let's see if I can get him out. Okay, that one's out. All right, I think they're all out now. So all the basting stitches are gone, and that fiber is caught underneath. So the piece is now finished. So once you take your tacking thread out of there, you can do whatever it is now that you want to do with your piece. Let me put you back a normal sight. I thought, you know, a lot of times these will make a beautiful piece for a junk journal to decorate a page or the cover in this case. It can be put on with double-sided tape. It can be actually glued on. It could be sewed on if you want to do that with your paper. You sew it onto your paper backing first. But that looks really pretty and can do that. Another thing that I like is putting them on cards. I like to put it on a card that I want to mail out something special, and I just take the time to, I usually put it on with double-sided tape. That allows the person to remove it if they want to take it off and frame it. That is what usually most people will do. And so it makes a nice little piece of framed fiber art when you're finished. But doesn't that make a nice gift for someone, or just finishes off something you're making? These also are really pretty, sewn to totes and purses, fronts of pillows, different things like that, because they're just elegant when you get through with them. And as you see, there's nothing really hard about it or involved about it. In the first video, I talked about a lot of people say they don't know how to put the fiber art pieces together, and so that's why I started creating different pieces for my shop, so that a person could start with something and they could do their own simple stitching on it. That would help a lot of people, I think, to believe that they could do this. A needle and a little embroidery floss, making some stitching on there that you like, a simple flower, some straight stitches, some cross stitching, just anything that you could do makes this your own and makes it handmade. And when you're already starting with a design, the design gives you inspiration about what kind of stitching you want to do with this. This is very busy, and I might even just straight hand quilt stitch this. That would just be pretty on its own because it's a very busy pattern. But you could go in there and do some decorative stitches across the yarns. You could do an additional flower motif to coordinate with the charm one there. You could do all kinds of things with that. Here's one that's in the shop, and again, it lends itself to all kinds of things. I would probably come down this outer edge with something that would accentuate this, work this centerpiece here, do my edging, and then see what else I might want to do with it after that. This piece is also the same way. I would probably go in and do some couching stitches across some of these yarns with different colors of broderie floss. I think that would be pretty. I might even go inside and put a lazy daisy stitch inside of each of these little red petals. Go and outline my center fabric there that's red, and then do my outside row stitching. That's kind of just what the piece says to me right off the bat. And so, you know, I go with some of those, and then I change sometimes as I'm working them. Here's a piece that I haven't yet put in the shop. I just completed this morning. And so it has a lot of interest in it already. I probably wouldn't do a whole lot in this, except I think I would outline this piece, put a couple of stem stitches into here, and then finish my edges. And I think that would probably be it, because it's pretty interesting just the way it is. And so that's giving you some ideas of what you can do with these fiber art pieces once you make them out of your scraps. Remember that the power of fabric scraps to transform into something beautiful is only limited to what you're willing to try to do with them. So make something beautiful, or like I said, buy it from me or somebody else who creates them, and then add your own stitching and make something completed and finished, and then gift it or keep it, or find an original way to use it even. Okay, I hope that helps you to know what you might do with these once you've created some fiber art pieces out of them, and for how to finish them off, and not to be worried that it has to be something complicated or something beyond your stitching ability to do. Till next time, this is Linda. Thank you for visiting. Bye-bye.